Yeah, this is Point Black, coming in hard and off the card, coming with the flow, straight from the barrio, and coming with the heat from the motherfucking street. I'm coming with the facts to crack some backs. And you know this is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the late edition. You know how we do. Now, today, we're on the racial issue situation that's going on all across the world. We want to make sure that the world understand where things stand. Many are spewing that they're looking out, doing this, doing that, doing all kinds of Judith and all kinds of other things. You know what I'm saying? In order to keep themselves out of jail. These Democrats will do anything to make sure that you believe in them. Because the wicked behavior underneath the curtain is definitely not something that should be seen. But we do know that they do. You know what I'm saying? So, we have a lot to look at. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? Now, bringing that issue to light, I'm coming in with this as a look at now we see Kalani, or whatever her name is, bringing a point to the table. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Kalani opinion. She has the right to her own opinion. You know what I'm saying? She has a right to her own opinion, and that's a fact. You know what I mean? It's very good that she brought the opinion out front. She has a right. And she states that white people are psychopathic, saying they lie to themselves, with a false sense of identity that makes them unable to discuss race. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. See, going back to like the colonial era, where they were colonialized in places and saying this and that and the third. Going back to the colonial era when they were brainwashing a lot of the people and the people were following behind them, meaning their mind frame is what she's talking about of colonialism, even on them. You know what I'm saying? So we have to look at that. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to them. From their side, we're looking at how their mentality is running within that group. They was helping, they said it was helping by invading, killing, murdering, raping, enslavement, and so on. They was helping the ones who they were doing it to. This is the mind frame that they were being taught in their land. That they were doing good when they went out there and did this kind of garbage to people under the guise of some religious overstanding and confusion and satanic all grooving one in their mind. And their people made them do it. A lot of them died too. So we got to look at this. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it, they say this is when they colonialized you and did all these things to you, rape, murder, killing, all of that different stuff, and you know what I'm saying, enslavement, they was doing it too. They were saying they were doing good to the people that they were doing it to. Then turn around and said that they discovered that land. You know what I'm saying? When they didn't, because people was already there that you came. You know what I'm saying? They discovered the land. Well, how are you going to discover the land you looted? That's how you discover a land? Okay. Looted, slavery, rape. You know what I'm saying? And the level of lying is a part of their history. So, they can hide, the dirt and the psychopathic mind. You know what I'm saying? You see? So, this whole thing in their head that they have is based on what their own people was telling them about other people. You know what I'm saying? So when Kalani brings this up, she's bringing it up from a good point. You know what I'm saying? A good point. They use that to hide the guilt and the garbage and the dirt that their psychopathic minds can think of. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. You know? And when you look at the savagery, you see that. But not only white people, there are many others who equally is guilty of the crime. Of the crime. Of the crime. You know? For years. For years. Guilty of the crime and you know, going back to the early times, even going further, the guilty of every crime. There's a lot of people that was helping these people. You know what I'm saying? And now we see, you know what I'm saying? The constant sound of war is in the ear. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see where I'm going with this. The constant war is in the ear. You know, speaks for itself. As we see, whether faking the funk or not. But we see they continue to sing that same old song. You know what I'm saying? Systematic racism on every part of the globe. Really. It's really on a global scale. As we see. So we're talking about racism, we got to look at the global scale. Try and groove on the masses, but see not for this is a full disgrace of humankind. You know what I'm saying? And what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have 4 to 23% of defendants in sex trafficking cases were on social media talking about racism. Social media contacts, you know what I'm saying? They were being contacted with at least one victim on the social site, as we see. So, prior to the trafficking, them as the internet, you know, prominence has grown in the U.S., so has it been used by people looking for opportunities to exploit others. Systematic racism is at all-time high. So is many other issues, as we see. It's time to clean the house. The demon Democrats has got to go. They should not be in control of Washington at all. Every chance we get, they must go. You know what I'm saying? We must, you know, we do need, and we don't need really, jokes and con games. Like people like Andrew Young, he's not good for New York. You know what I'm saying? He's not really good for New York. To me, he's a trickster, and for sure. But to each his own and his vote. But to me, he's a trickster. You know what I'm saying? To each his own his vote for who you like. You know, you vote for who you like. When it comes to the COVID-19, you know, many have not, and that, you know, many have not, and that many have. Like even, you know what I'm saying, the juice, as we see, is this, and that, but still have to see in the long run, as we see. So you understand what I mean. You figure that out. Now we see tension building in the Pacific. You know what I'm saying? Countries in the region of the Pacific are building up their military over the tensions between the U.S. and China. Now, what is Biden doing about this? Mr. Care about race relations. Seems like, you know, Creepy Joe is in this with the dirty hands every time. The demon Democrats in office. Now, my question is, they've been in there for 40-something years, you know what I'm saying, and we have 47 years of what? Straight garbage to me. War. and rumors of war. Ever since the Democrats been taking office or even taking any kind of political vibe in this country, they've been doing this bull. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna escape from it, not with point blank. You know what I'm saying? This is before a long time ago. They've been doing this shit. And we know who to me had many things. Many things. You know what I'm saying? Because when we mention the 47 years of nothing but garbage, war, rumors of war, you know what I'm saying? We heard, and as we seen, rumors of war, you know what I'm saying? We heard this before. Every time the Democrats take office, we heard this before. You know what I'm saying? A long time ago. A lot of us older dudes know what I mean. And if you Rasta, call yourself Ra or Rasta or whatever, this is what we mean. We've heard of this a long time ago. And we know who. And who to me, you know what I'm saying? Who to me had many things. But I did not agree with everything. But he knew this had to be done. You know what I'm saying? He knew this had to be done. Like now, while Biden and many others for years all over the world, you know what I'm saying? We're speaking about, Ra. I call myself, my creator, and them, the black woman is God. Ra, he changed his name to another name, but we calling him Selassie, said, you know what I'm saying? And he quote, that until the philosophy, you know what I'm saying, which hold one race superior and another inferior, is finally and permanently discredited. And until this is until the philosophy that hold one race superior and another superior and one inferior, you know what I'm saying, until this is finally and permanently discarded and abandoned, that until there are no longer first class, second class, and first class, second class citizens of any nation, that until the color of a man's skin is no more significant than the color of his eyes, that until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race, that until that day the dream of lasting peace and world citizenship and the rule of international morality will remain but a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never obtained. And until the ignoble and the unhappy regimes or government or leaders, presidents and governors, you know what I'm saying? Until these unhappy regimes, you know what I'm saying? And so on, because you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I mean. So, and who I'm talking about. That holds the brothers and sisters in Africa and the world and the entire world as a whole in subhuman bondage. And, holding the whole entire world in a subhuman bondage. This have to be toppled and totally destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And totally destroyed. So we have to understand what is he talking about. You know what I'm saying? When we look at this whole situation as he expressed it in his words. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing. You know what I mean? So we must look at the integrity and the bigotry. You know what I'm saying? Until the bigotry and the prejustice and the malicious and inhuman self-interest have been replaced by you know what I'm saying, have been replaced by overtending and tolerance and goodwill until all Africans stand and speak. So freedom being as free beings in the eyes of all men. You know what I'm saying? As they are in the eyes of the mother goddess until that day, the African continent, as will the whole world, the entire world as a whole, must fight if we find it necessary, and we know that we will win as we have confidence in the victory, the good over the wicked. You know what I mean? So we've got to look at this whole thing based on what is going on. Those are some facts that are laid out in a speech that was given. You know what I'm saying? So we have to look at that. You know? We even looking at a situation going on now with Kamala again. I see something mentioned on that, but let me elaborate a little more. What Selassie was saying, whether he was a Semite or not, because we know who he was and what he did and how he got there. So we know he had to be an influence in some way, somehow, somehow. Because instead of bringing power, Ra to the light, he brought Tefari, and bringing that, he brought in Judaism and Christianity and all kinds of other things. You know what I'm saying? That were now coming from their side and their perspective. You know what I'm saying? Coming from their side and their perspective. It doesn't matter, if we created it or not. But the perspective that they took and brought back upon our head, using that to drive the minds of the people to do this garbage, you know what I'm saying, and then bring it down on the people, you know what I'm saying, of Africa and Ethiopia and different land. He spoke out a very good speech on that. You know what I'm saying? Because whether it's his words or not, the words are still saying what it say. It don't matter if it came from a tyrant. If he's speaking the truth, sometimes the words are still saying truth. He don't own the words. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start looking at this more better. You know what I'm saying? We need to start looking at this more better and start to look into what it is these people are speaking about when they speak about racial issue. Unless you are saying it in this way that I just said it, you know what I'm saying, the racial issue will always be. And there's always going to be rumors of war because they love garbage like that. You see what I'm saying? So we have to start looking at this thing from a whole better perspective. I mean, when you look at it, it's no more than a fleeting illusion to be pursued and may never be fully obtained. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. And until the tangible, you know what I'm saying? We want to see a a tangible understanding to where we see it actually tangible that we can touch it. You know what I'm saying? Because just saying racial issue and having a celebration does not solve and let the demon Democrats, slide out for damn near all the garbage they did for damn near over 400 years, along with a lot of other groups of race of people that call themselves something else that they know who they are because they financed it. So we have to start looking at these things. Do sane people do this in their mind, or do sane people say the things that I say? You know what I'm saying? So Kalani has a point. You know what I mean? And I agree with her on the situation, and she is right. Kalani, you get a little check mark. But I still don't trust no one. You see what I'm saying? So there is always an allege in the mix when it comes to me. Because a lot of times people put stories out there to sway you off the path or to take you over there. Or let me give him the news here so he follow this and he don't follow that. You know what I'm saying? We know we got him. All that kind of garbage. We spoke about that before. So let's get that straight. So I'm coming in with part 2 on this Jammy Jam. This is Roster for the PBNN Point Black National News. No man proceed his mother. Hold on, because the mother coming with number 2. Woo!